Hey guys, this is Joshua from Grappazilla, and today we're going to cover what to do, when you have a bad day at BJJ. You know, everyone has a bad day on the mats. Okay, it happens. You know the feeling. Sometimes it's when you just lose every position, or maybe you got submitted over and over again. Maybe you got injured, and this all can ultimately lead to someone to feel like quitting BJJ, and it's often that they do. The main thing to remember is that bad days on the mat happen to every single person in BJJ, and you are no different than anyone. Now, the main thing is to remember is make sure you do not let a bad BJJ day affect your overall progress in your BJJ journey. Mentally dealing with a bad day on the mats, okay? Um, there's a saying that you are what you think. And in BJJ, this is absolutely the truth. Let's take a scenario and try to look at it from two different points of view. Okay, let's say you rolled 4 rounds. Each round you were getting dominated to a point of frustration, no matter what technique you tried. You kept on getting put into bad positions and tapped out. You walk off the mats and your brain starts to run at 1,000 RPMs a minute, thinking about what just happened and wondering how to deal with the fact that you just got smashed on the mats. Now, there are two ways you can look at this. And we've all been there, right? The first way is to ask yourself why the opponents you were rolling with are so good. Why I'm not getting good at BJJ? Is it worth all the effort and pain? How can I avoid rolling with them? Why do I suck so badly at BJJ? Etc., etc., etc. Now, the second way is to look at the scenario as an opportunity to better yourself, looking at the positions you were stuck in, the positions you got submitted in, looking for commonalities in the opponent's attack, and looking at what holes in your BJJ game the opponent has exposed. And now you have the opportunity to fix your BJJ mistakes in order to get better and improve. You see, we're all going to have very hard times in BJJ and all grappling arts in anyways, right? But if you have the outlook to always improve over always winning, you'll find yourself sooner than later starting to really improve on the mats. Now, dealing with injuries in BJJ, okay, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is all about contact. And unfortunately, injuries in BJJ do happen. Most of the time, there are going to be light injuries that allow you to train around them. And once in a while, maybe a severe injury that'll lead you to taking some time off the mat. I myself have had many severe injuries, a lot in freestyle wrestling, but a lot in jiu-jitsu too. And it can be frustrating, right? So the main thing to remember when you are injured is that it sometimes happens to all of us. Okay, sometimes it's a sign that you're going maybe too fast and faster than your body can handle. It could have been because you made a technical mistake, the most common reason for being injured. And lastly, it may be because of your training partner's actions. If the injury is due to mistake, then there's good news. You can fix it and take the lesson from the experience to become a better jiu-jitero. Should the injury be related to a training partner, then you need to examine the reason. Was it because they made a mistake, perhaps falling or on you or going accidentally too fast on a submission? Or is it due to the fact the person you're training with is simply a bully? If this is the case, your BJJ instructor should have noticed this and should have been responsible enough when observing the class to speak to your partner about calming down and rolling less aggressively. In the extreme case that your instructor encourages aggressive behavior that endangers your well being, well, you should look at finding another academy, in my opinion. You know, many BJJ instructors shun students leaving their BJJ academy, and in some cases, look at the person as a criança, which is a trader in Portuguese. Um, but you must remember that ultimately you are the customer and they are providing a service. And if they cannot provide that service you need, which also entails a safe environment to train in, then it's your choice to leave. Try finding a BJJ academy that has a safe training environment and a high level of professionalism in instruction. Trust me, if in the long run, it's going to really help you out. Now, how to identify signs of overtraining in BJJ? Okay. Um, BJJ is very addictive. It's fun. It's a great atmosphere to grow as an individual. Now, many times people are so obsessed with getting better at jiu-jitsu that they often forget to rest and recover properly and doing it properly. And in doing so, their body starts to break down. This can eventually lead to mental and emotional stress, and thus lead to really bad days on the BJJ mat. Um, Now, some of the signs of overtraining in BJJ are that you have constant aches and pains, insomnia, decrease in performance, feeling exhausted all day, and lastly, that you're starting to lose your enthusiasm towards BJJ. Now, the best way to deal with overtraining in BJJ is to take a few days off. Rest, relax, eat clean, let your body tell you when it's best to come back. Sometimes it may take a few days, sometimes it can take a few weeks, but you will know if you listen to your body correctly. Once you come back to BJJ, just try to take things at a slightly slower pace and listen to your body. You're going to get better at BJJ either way, okay? Um, Now, might as well do it in a healthy manner. That's what I think. Now, dealing with ego in BJJ, this is the big one, boys and girls. Um, Everyone hates to lose, and it simply makes us feel inferior to the winner and affects our ego ultimately. You're going to lose in BJJ. It's the nature of the grappling art and the nature of all grappling arts. But you need to remember that the environment of a BJJ class lets you lose and still win. Now, there's a BJJ saying, and many of you know this and some of you don't, so I'm going to repeat it, that either you win or you learn. And you cannot be any more true than in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. As when you get submitted, you are slowly learning to optimize your technique to not get submitted anymore. It may not happen the first time you get submitted, but after 10 times, it could be 100 times and sometimes even 1,000 times, that your brain and body finally associates that position, timing, pressure, grip that your opponent uses to submit you as a cue to counter that submission and position with an associated escape or reversal. Now, every single BJJ superstar has had to deal with loss on the mats. BJJ stars like Marcelo Garcia, Renzo Gracie, Buchecha, Pedro Sauer, Gordon Ryan, you name it, have all had to deal with losing at one time or another in their career. Some have dealt with loss not so many times, but they still had to deal with it. So if you can deal with it, and if they can deal with it, so can you. The key is to control your ego and not let your ego control you. Simple as that. Now, don't set expectations. There is a lot of peer pressure in BJJ due to the fact that although BJJ is a martial art, it's also a sport. Today, you can watch BJJ competitions for hours and hours on YouTube, as well as seeing BJJ and MMA being used effectively when fighters hit the ground. This can lead to wanting to be like the BJJ stars, and that's normal. But it does place a lot of pressure. And when trying to become when you're not becoming the next IBJJF champion, sometimes you're going to let increase the pressure so much it affects your performance, health, mentality, etc. This can lead ultimately to developing a set of high expectations that, when not met, lead to emotional stress, anxiety, and sometimes depression. This can easily carry over to the mats and affect your overall performance and growth as a BJJ practitioner. A good way to deal with this is to simply not have expectations. Just go to class, learn, try your best, and have fun. You will see after a short while that you're going to get better in all aspects: your fitness, your technical ability, your emotional response to pressure, and more. So drop the expectations in order to in order to better deal with having a bad day at BJJ class. Now, a good thing is to make a game plan. A great way to deal with defeat is making a game plan. And most athletes do this. This actually can be aided by analyzing why you're having bad days in BJJ. Now, could it be that you're overweight? Could it be that you do not understand a BJJ position properly? Could it be that you need to improve your fitness? Could it be that you need to improve your flexibility and many other factors? It is only by analyzing your weaknesses that you can make a game plan. Try talking to your instructor and creating a short-term and long-term game plan with some goals, and then figure out how to achieve them, as focusing on goals, no matter how small they are, will help you better deal with those bad days. Now, because it's due to the fact that every small goal you achieve is a small win in the journey to get your BJJ black belt, which most people want to get, right? And ultimately, it's not about getting a BJJ black belt, but being efficient and proficient in BJJ. This way, even when you lose, you win, because you achieve what you wanted to achieve in that specific class. right? Now, in closing, having a bad day at BJJ can really affect someone's mood and can be a really bad emotional experience. The way to deal with this is by simply realizing you are in charge of how you develop, and it is generally a switch in how you look at things that makes a difference between being defeated by a bad day at BJJ or defeating that bad day at Jiu-Jitsu and taking it as an opportunity to grow and improve. So sleep it off, smile, and just get on the mats again. It's literally all going to work out again. And in hindsight, you'll smile at the mistakes you made and understand that it was your particular mistake that actually enabled you to perfect your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and be a better Jiu-Jitero. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting the channel. If you could like and subscribe, it really means a lot to me, and even share. And let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but it's always good to hear what you guys think too. Enjoy and grab throw tap.